pressure. She sacked him. A great bull rush by Chris Jones.
He's not banking on the skill that he's been blessed with.
It's a Kelsey. Great catch. Touchdown. Kansas City to 10. Oh, what a run. Out of this world. Sinks it up the middle. Intercepted. Intercepted by Matthew. Oh, Honey Badger doesn't care.
The Chiefs win the last game of the first century of the NFL, winning Super Bowl 54. They win the first game of the second century of the NFL, winning this game tonight 34-20 over the Houston Texans. Welcome to Chiefs Rewind. I'm Mitch Holthus with you, voice of the Chiefs, along with 10-year NFL veteran Shawn Barber. This was impressive. For the Chiefs to play this clean a game, one penalty, and to get their rookies this involved, including Clyde Edwards-Helaire. What about the job Andy Reid did to prepare this team?
Man, we talk about everything with the COVID and everything during the season. No OTA training, no preseasons. They thought that everybody was going to come out a little bit dull, a little bit unpolished. Andy said, nah. This is one of the most beautifully coached and performed opening games I've ever seen in about 20 years of watching football. The lack of penalties, the sharpness, the crispness of the shifts and the motions. The offense got rolling early. The defense give up one touchdown, but then after that, it's almost lights out until it was trash time. All three together, a beautiful thing to be a Kansas City Chiefs fan right now.
Patrick Mahomes was Patrick Mahomes. Passer rating of 123, 3 touchdowns, passes to 3 different guys. But this is a good defense he played tonight in Houston. But then Clyde Edwards-Helaire, one of the best performances. We're going to hear from Clyde later in the show. You don't want to miss that. But 25 carries, 138 yards. He looked like a 5-year veteran out there, very poised.
Well, the poise, the professionalism, the patience to run the ball. And even when it was time to get near the goal line, you think most rookies might stretch a ball out, do uncharacteristic. He understands ball security. You'll hear from him later on, and he talks about some coaches talk that makes me very excited about this young man joining the kingdom.
He was impressive tonight, as was this entire football team. Also, Sneed, we're going to hear from him later in the show. It was a big night for the rookies, but the Chiefs get the win 34-20 over the Texans to get the season off, the run-it-back season off on the right foot. Let's hear now from Big Red Andy Reid, who had this team ready to play.
Okay, so as far as the injuries go, Saunders dislocated his elbow, but it looks like it's clean. There doesn't look like there's any damage in there other than the dislocation, which isn't great, but it's better than the alternative. Okafor has a slight hamstring, and then Ward fractured his hand. So, and he'll get that rechecked again tomorrow. So listen, I'm proud of our players, but I'm also proud of our fans that came out there. They were extremely loud, 17,000 strong, or whatever that number ended up being. And likewise with our operations crew, Mark Donovan and his staff, I thought did a tremendous job of putting on this event, just getting everything organized. It's not as easy as it looks. And with the social distancing and then our fans wearing their masks and doing the things they're supposed to do. And I just keep encouraging them to keep on, man, because we want to keep you in the stands. And if we're going to do that, we got to do the right thing. So let's keep rolling with that. And then obviously our players, both sides of the ball and special teams, I thought were solid. For a first game, you know, listen, there were some good things that were done, some great individual performances, and some young guys that had some nice performances. So all in all, good day. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
Let's go to Herbie with the Kansas City Star. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, good evening. You mentioned some great individual performances. Obviously, Clyde Edwards-Helaire had himself a game. 25 carries, 138 yards. Did you come into this game knowing you wanted to feed him that much, or was this just a product of how the game flowed?
Well, we feel like Herbie that he's had a good camp and he's a heck of a player. So, and we wanted to give him the ball, but we didn't come in saying he's going to get X number of, but we like the mix that we were able to get going with, and we threw the ball well, and and caught the ball well and then also ran it well. So, you give the offensive line credit for that against what I consider one of the best defensive fronts in the league.
Let's go to Adam Teichert. Go ahead, Adam.
Just wondered, I know Clyde was pretty impressive in camp, but wondered whether you learned anything about him tonight after seeing him in a live game. And also your thoughts on Pat's night, a lot of short stuff, but that seems like that was what the Texans were given.
Well, they came in and played a little cover too. They've been a man team against us in the past, but they kind of mixed it up with a bunch of different coverages. Some of our underneath stuff was good. Kels had a big night. Sammy had a big night. So we were able to hit some of the shorter things and keep them working. Tyreek, and they all, listen, the whole receiving core, I thought really did a nice job. And Pat did a nice job of checking it down. So we had some deeper things that he decided on and because they were covered downfield and his checkdowns were good for him. I thought he played very well.
Let's go to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy, we asked you about this a little bit earlier in the week, but for a week one and no preseason and altered practices and all that, how pleased were you with the level of play and what do you attribute that to just from your side?
Yeah, Sam, listen, I mean, the guys worked extremely hard during training camp and it's a good bunch of guys. I mean, they want to be good. They know that we can be better than what we are, and they're willing to work at it. So we've got good leadership in there. And listen, I mean, this wasn't perfect by any means. I mean, we finished the game better. We got to score when we're down there inside the 1 and 5. We can't have the long drives or give up a big throw. We can't do that. So we can all do better. And blocking this, I mentioned the fellas last night that. If fundamentals weren't in the picture, there's no more bigger time than right this minute than fundamentals become important. So it's just the blocking and the tackling, those simple things that you kind of take for granted in this sport, they end up being important. I thought we did a decent job at that.
Let's go to Aaron Ladd with KSHB. Go ahead, Aaron.
Coach, I'm going to be honest, the talk of Twitter has to be your face mask and how it fogged up. It seemed like you had a little trouble with it.
Yeah, that was brutal. Yeah, I didn't do very good with that thing. But listen, it'll be better the next time. So I appreciate you asking that, though. It was a bit of a mess, but we'll get it fixed up.
Let's go to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Coach, it seemed like Pat really was able to spread the ball around quite a bit in this game, maybe more so than we've even usually seen in previous years. What does it say as far as the chemistry that he's developed with some of these returning receivers, including Kelsey?
Yeah, well, listen, I think what you see is a maturity where he's not forcing things downfield. So as a play caller, EB and I sit there and we go, listen, we can call deep throws, but yet he's willing to check this thing down. So we appreciate that and still trust his guys to make plays. It also helps the offensive line, ball out fast. That's a frustrating thing for defenders. So I thought he just handled and managed the game the right way. And you guys saw the second half, it was a bit wet. It started in the first half and he's throwing a wet ball around like it's nothing. So he did a heck of a job with that.
Let's go to Matt Derrick next. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach, between Clyde and L'Jarius both having big nights and a lot of the rookies overall contributing so much, how impressed were you with the way that group came out and that they were able to handle the big stage tonight?
Yeah, well, I compliment our veteran players for that because they welcome these guys in, and then our coaches for doing a nice job. I mean, if you look at the coordinators, Spags has done a phenomenal job, and his coaching staff of making sure the young guys worked in there. EB and our offensive staff have done the same thing. And then Dave always believes that, listen, if they're not going to be able to work in offense, they can learn angles and speed on special teams and still be effective. So all the coaches believe in that. And then Brett has done a nice job of drafting, first of all, and then two, bringing our team back together.
We've got time for a couple more guys. Let's go Todd Lebo and then Harold to close it out. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, Coach, I wonder if you could just take us through the discussions you had with your team leadership about how you guys were going to handle the anthems. And then it seemed like there was some booing when you guys all came together at the middle of the field, but I wasn't there. You were right there at midfield. Did it sound like there was booing? And if so, how much was there at that point?
Yeah, I didn't really notice it. I thought that was kind of a neat deal, just both sides coming together for a cause, and it was the story was told there, and so whether it was the national anthems and how those were presented, and the singers. I mean, Alicia Keys was phenomenal, and and then guys joining hands together for a cause, and so we can all learn from this, and really it's just to make us all better and even a stronger country than we already are. I mean, we have a chance to just be completely unstoppable when all hands join together, and that's a beautiful thing, man.
Let's go to Harold to close it out. Go ahead, Harold.
Yeah, Todd, I kind of alluded to my question I was going to ask you, but I will say this. With expectations, you've always mentioned, you don't expect unexpected in the first game. You feel that you reached, obviously with the win, but you feel like you reached expectations of where you could be for a week one game?
Well, no, listen, I'm proud of our guys, but we have a ton of things we can work on. So that's a plus, and these guys are willing to do that. They know that. And once they have the chance to look at the tape and see what they've got, they'll hit the drawing board, as you'd say, and get busy on working on those things. Coaches likewise. So we were all knocking the rust off, and but I'm proud of the guys. I don't want to take away from that. I'm proud of how they handled this.
Coach, we really appreciate your time today. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you. Yep.
We've got
Clyde, it'll go down as one of the great rookie performances to start a career in Kansas City Chiefs history for a running back. Congratulations. You looked really comfortable out there. What about this first night on this field?
Completely epic. Still pretty much have butterflies, still kind of shaking from it. Ultimately, I mean, I was just in a place that I feel like I needed to be. I felt like home on the field, Chiefs Kingdom. Everything just felt natural. So I'm just excited. I'm happy to continue this run that we have going. This league is about wins, so one win under our belt.
It was impressive. When I asked you about the 27-yard run, it looked like the great push by the line. And then what about your vision, your ability to cut it back in a split second?
Pretty much shout out to the O-line, getting everything cleared out up front. And then, from the rest after that, I knew I only had one person to beat. Watching film, knew the safety would come down and try to fill that hole. And pretty much at that point, I know they're just not trying to let anybody get outside. So ultimately, give them the vision of over pursuing outside from my outside foot in the ground and get up to it.
Well, glad you looked so smooth tonight, man. I'm gonna say I don't have your stats in front of me, but from a player's eye point of view, man, you put some very high level moves on some really good defenders out there in the open field, man. Your open field vision was amazing. What is one of the things you think Coach Bieniemy is going to work with you progressing from game 1 to game 2 to just keep you hungry, keep you humble, and moving forward?
Ultimately, pretty much all the things that we've been going over day in and day out. You can't really, hound in on one thing and then relax on another. This game, everything is about adjusting each week. Next week we have a different opponent. Watch the film, do the corrections from this film, and then move on to the next. Begin to scout for the next game. So ultimately, we're still going to chop wood, do all the things that I need to do as far as corrections, and keep going hard, keep going at it.
I'll give you the stats here, Shop. 25 carries, 100. So we got him here, 138 yards and a touchdown. But here's what I like, CEH. Like Big Red says, okay, it's like the 4-minute offense. Now, we're up in this game, double digits. But it's like, let's let him run it like as if the game was tied. Because it was like you were in the 4-minute offense, like you got to take care of business. What did you learn late in this game that, hey, you're going to get it? They know you're going to get it? Take care of business.
The biggest thing is at that point is ball security. Getting back to the huddle with the ball. That's ball security is job security. 4-minute offense. Get first downs. keep the clock moving, don't go out of bounds, and try to pull this thing together at the end with a victory. And I feel like that's ultimately what we did. You know, we can tighten some things up, but that's what it is. No preseason games, first regular season game, little kinks here and there, but for the most part, I feel like everything's pretty much, you know, where it needs to be for game one without preseason games.
Well, I've heard what I needed to hear. I heard the lumberjack mentality, keep chopping wood. I heard keep two hands on the ball when you're going in between the bushes. I heard that, you know, late in the game, ball possession and ball security is job security. Those are the three biggest things I want to hear from my running back. And everybody who selected you high in their fantasy draft is happy right now because the return on their investment is coming back all looking good. I appreciate it, young man.
Shop, it's what you heard. It's what I saw. EH is one of the best. I've only been doing this 27 years as the voice of the Chiefs. That's one of the best opening game performances I've ever seen. Now just build on it, young man. It's great to have you in the kingdom.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here. Thank y'all so much.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Things down as far as, you know, camp. It really wasn't camp.
For that interview. Wow. What I'm seeing from him is maturity, but I'm also seeing instinct, not just on the field, but off the field. What do we have in Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Well, you say it's CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think of confidence, effort, and hard working. You got those initials. He puts it all together. I see why Coach Bieniemy is so excited when he does the post-practice and he does the interviews. He's so excited about this young man. When you got a guy that young in your room and he gets it, effort and hard work is nothing that comes. It's nothing that comes hard for this kid. He's ready to put it on the line, and his offensive line loves it.
Defensively in this game, it was kind of a sandwich game. Houston Texans took the lead to go up 7-0, but then they got some stuff at the end. But there were 31 unanswered points in the middle of that. That meant the defense was stopping them. And the other thing impressive tonight for this rookie class was Sneed. He's out there a lot of times on single coverage against Will Fuller the fifth a lot. You knew Deshaun Watson was going to pick on him. He won most of those battles, and he ended up getting a pick in this game too. What'd you like about his game?
I just like his confidence, man. He just battled. He battled every time. He never showed a lack of confidence. He never showed a lack of aggression based off of the alignment, whether it was a bunch, whether it was a nasty split. No matter if he knew he was being targeted or not, he played his leverage, played the coverage. He knew he was going to get pressure, and he knew that Deshaun Watson had the ability to extend the play. He never seemed worried. He never we see a lot of DBs their rookie year get careless penalties, pulling on guys, late in the downs, getting penalties, getting flags. This whole game, he played with a utmost amount of confidence and patience at the cornerback position.
Again, it bears repeating. The Chiefs had one penalty in this game on the offense, a false start. 0 defensive penalties in the opening game of this season. And Sneed was impressive, the first corner to start as a rookie since 2015. Great start. Interception. They were picking on you. You knew they would, but you held your own. How good was it to be out there and just getting in the flow?
I mean, I was nervous when I first got out, but, you know, trusting my film studying during the week and my technique and what I've been doing all week, so I knew I was going to be all right.
Well, it was impressive. You knew they were going to come after you. What about your man-to-man technique and doing a job? I mean, the Chiefs only had 1 penalty in this game. The defense had 0 penalties. The fact that you were able to defend without getting a DPI or an illegal contact or grabbing and holding, it was impressive.
That's something we always worked on during the training camp, you know, getting hands-on early, you know, down the field, don't be touching and grabbing.
Ladarius, this is Barbershop, man. I had a chance to play under Coach Spags, and I know that some of the techniques y'all learned downfield is that the splatter, the glue technique, especially with a quarterback like Deshaun Watson trying to extend the plays. That puts a lot of pressure on that back end beyond 20 yards to not grab, not hold. It was very impressive as a young man to see you in your first live game go so clean and play those downfield passes like you did, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I got to ask you about your pick. Now, the Honey Badger got it for you. Tyron got some pressure on Deshaun Watson. But how big were your eyes when you saw the ball like floating towards you like a balloon going, it's just up there to take off the tree?
That was big. I thought I was going to drop it, honestly, because it was just flowing. Them the hardest ball to catch right there.
And the pick six, we thought you maybe were going to take it to the house. What about, did you think, I might get this all the way? Tell us about the interception return.
Oh, I was thinking the touchdown, but I didn't get my vision back on my inside, so I just ran out of bounds.
Well, Ladarius Women, exciting win for the team. It's short-lived because we know with this long week, you get an extra chance to prepare for the next opponent. You have a chance to watch them play on Sunday, on Monday night. So watching that next opponent, what is some of the things about your game tonight you think that you're going to be able to really, kind of be your worst critic and kind of sharpen up a little? Maybe with your technique or your leverage or some of your tackling?
Yeah, my leverage, when condensed splits with the wide receivers, my leverage inside or outside. I'm going to go watch the film tonight as soon as I leave tonight and, learn from my mistakes that I made and keep going and on to the next opponent. Well,
congratulations on a great start. Your rookie class had a pretty good night. And now you get ready for the next week. But outstanding job, my friend.
Most definitely. Thank you.
Impressive night for him and the rookies. L'Jarius Sneed, what a great job by that young man. Showed no fear. That's the thing I liked. Zero fear. He was ready to go in this game.
Yeah, I think when they went out and got this young man is because he showed so much top elite talent at the college level. And now he just transferred it from the college level right on the NFL field. He didn't worry about who he was facing. He didn't worry about was it Stills, Fuller, or anybody else, who he was up against. He has confidence in his technique. He's able to mirror. He's able to track the ball downfield, high point the ball, all the things you ask for a cornerback to do. And you in the box playing a little safety. So that man is ultra versatile. He'll be a key component for our team for weeks on now.
A night for the rookies, but I like what I see here. We saw his hit on Akins, the tight end. He can be physical, but Sneed has a lot of the Charvarius Ward to me. His size and his ability, wow. Start for him. Get excited about this guy.
Long arms, mirability, quick feet. Like I said, very patient with his footwork. Coach Sam Madison and Coach Dave Merritt are going to be in love with this man throughout the season as he continues to grow and develop. And what you love about him is humbleness, his hard work. You give all the credit to the pressure. The D-line created this. Oh, man, Honey Badger created it for me. All that hard work, great corners love to be targeted because that's how you make pass breakups, interceptions. You got to be targeted.
Also, rookie Tommy Townsend had a punt down at the 5-yard line. It was a good night for these first-year guys. Mike Dana got on the field. But Patrick Mahomes was Patrick Mahomes. Just get this. In September now, he is 8-0 in his life in the NFL in September. 26 touchdowns, no picks. He's just in control of this game. It wasn't a night he's going to throw for 400 yards. That's okay. He's going to do – the red zone was great, but Patrick Mahomes is just taking his game to another level. He was in the very beginning.
Reid does a great job of creating an environment for guys to really let their leadership ability show. And they showcase even when sometimes the elements and things you can't control are against you. Opening day, today, rain pouring, coming down. Everybody's thinking about what's going to happen. Can we throw the ball? We're going to run the ball security. It's going to be a sloppy, think about a turnover game. I don't think Pat and the team thought about that. They go out there, let's line up, let's execute. Let's worry about the things we can control and not worry about the things that everybody else is worried about. And that's exactly what they did today. Went out there and took care of business. Like you said, 31 straight points unanswered. Man, this team is ready to roll.
34-20 win. What does Patrick Mahomes think about this game?
Yeah, to the first part of your question, I talked with Shawn a good amount and some of those other guys on the Texans as well as talking with our team. And I thought we came out with a great plan, obviously, for us as the Chiefs, but also with the Texans showing unity on the field. And being down there, I honestly didn't hear a lot of booing. I've seen a little bit of the videos. I'm just we wanted to show unity, and we wanted to show we were going to come together and keep fighting the good fight. And I hope our fans will support us like they do on the game every single day.
Let's go to Herbie next. Go ahead.
Hey, Patrick, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, one of the more hyped-up rookies coming into this game, and I'm curious. I know you saw a lot of what he was able to do in training camp, and I'm curious how you your impressions, what you saw tonight in live action.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing it since the day he got here. I mean, he's been working hard. He's been learning from his mistakes. And he's been running the ball between the tackles and catching it out of the backfield. And so I thought the offensive line did a great job of giving him holes to run through, and he hit it every single time. And so he's going to keep getting better. It's another weapon that I kind of have offense, and we're going to keep doing whatever we can to keep moving the ball and scoring touchdowns.
Let's go to Adam Teichert next. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Pat, I just wanted to ask you what your thoughts were on how sharp you guys were offensively given this unusual season. And also, you seems like you took a lot of short stuff. That's kind of what they were giving you. They play defense maybe a little differently than they had, say, last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, they did. They changed it up a lot. They did a lot of stuff at the line of scrimmage. And then they kind of stayed back and kept safeties back, and they put a guy over 10 pretty much the whole entire game. And so I think that's what makes this offense so good is we can change within games. We can go throughout our game plan and find ways to score and find ways to move the ball down the field. Today it was running the football and taking the short passes. And I think whenever we get to the Chargers next week, we're playing another great defense, and we'll have to find a way to move the ball and score that week as well.
Let's go to Nate Taylor next. Go ahead, Nate.
Patrick, with everything that went on tonight with the fans obviously doing this for the first time really in just what does it say that your offensive line, like you mentioned earlier, with two new guys in those starting spots, what did it say for you that you were mostly held up without getting hit and obviously there was holes there for Clyde to run through?
I think they did a great job. I mean, obviously without the preseason games, it's hard to get out there and kind of form that bond that offensive lines do, of how they can kind of think like each other and pass off stuff. And I think they did a great job of not pass protecting me with all the games and that defensive line, which is a very good defensive line, but of in the run game of making their blocks and setting their angles so Clyde can go out there and make plays happen. And so I thought it was a really good sign for them to be so as one unit so early in the season with the offseason that we did have.
Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Pat, you really spread the ball around tonight. You mentioned some of the short stuff. You were able to hit 3 different guys with touchdowns. I was just wondering, where does that confidence that you have sort of to go in any time come from? And is it just a credit to the work that these guys have done with you in the offseason?
Yeah, it is 100%. I mean, these guys have worked their tail off. They've been here for a while now. Everybody we kind of brought back, and I've built this chemistry with. And I think we have the confidence in every single person that's in that huddle that they can make plays happen when their number is called. And so I'm going to take what's there. Obviously, today they put a lot of attention on 10. And so you saw other guys like Sammy and D-Rob making plays happen. And so that's the good thing about this offense is a luxury for me is I have a lot of good players that can get themselves open no matter who's covering them.
Let's go to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Patrick, you and some other guys have talked about how you don't feel like you peaked last year, that there's still room to improve. You obviously had a big day, 34 points, but what happened out there that you saw that you can do better, that you're going to, critique yourself on?
Yeah, I mean, there was just some missed opportunities here and there. I mean, obviously the D-Rob touchdown, he made a heck of a play and just didn't fit at the end of the thing. We had another drive where I didn't pick up a blitz the right way and had to throw it hot to the flat to Darryl. And if I'd have had it picked up, we had guys open downfield. I mean, you want to score every single time you're out there. But I think the good thing about the game today is it was a good game, offense, defense, and special teams. And we were able to go out there and play off of each other. We chewed up some clock and gave the defense a rest, and they went out there and made a lot of stuff happen.
Got time for a couple more guys. We're going to go Len Jennings and then Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Len.
Hey, Patrick, you just talked about some of the issues out on the field. Do you think that you could have benefited more with having those preseason games, how much that would have helped you? And also, what do you think about the unveiling of the championship banner?
The banner was awesome. I mean, it really was to see that, to kind of be in that stadium for that moment. I mean, you didn't know if you were going to get that coming off the Super Bowl last year with everything that happened this offseason. You ask your first question one more time, please.
Sorry, the issues you had, would you have benefited having those preseason games, you feel like?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could have for sure. I mean, just getting out there, kind of getting those kinks out. I mean, going into the game, it's kind of like you take you back to college where you're right there. Everything counts the moment you step on the field. And so I thought we did a good job of adjusting quickly. I thought we did a good job of moving the ball today. And we're going to keep progressing and keep trying to get better because we have a lot of tough games ahead of us.
Let's go to Aaron to close us out. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, Pat, I know jersey swaps look a lot different this year. Who's got dibs on your jersey for this week?
I haven't talked to anybody about any jersey swaps yet. I might have to hit Shawn up or something, but as of right now, I'm keeping mine.
Patrick, we really appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now the Chiefs get a long week, actually about a week and a half, to get ready for the second game before going to the Chargers. But let's talk situation football here. When you win the toss and defer, this happens about 70% of the time. You get a chance to score back-to-back. This is a 14-7 game. Mm-hmm. Then Barber tries the 51-yard field goal that was closer to hitting your lawn than being good. And then all of a sudden, it's just wide open now, right? So then the Chiefs go get 3, and then you get the ball. It's like playing Madden, and you get 2 possessions in a row.
With 3 timeouts, you can't give the ball back to Pat. Offensively, you got to do whatever you got to do to make sure that your kick is the last play before half, because if you give 30 seconds, a minute, anything to Pat with 3 timeouts, you put us in field goal range, we score, and we get the ball. We come out and score again. Like you said, it goes from a 1-possession game to us being up 24-7, and now we got all the momentum. And now you're trying to catch up. And we know with Pat, he loves catch up, but it's hard to catch up with the Chiefs.
You know what else I like this game, Shop? The longest play was Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's 27-yard run. Are you saying, well, why would you like that? You know 70 and 80-yard plays are coming. 40-yard plays are coming. But they won this game where their longest play was 27 in it all night.
Defensively, you can only take away 2 or 3 of a team's weapons. You can't take away all 4. You can take away Hill over the top, take away Kelsey. Sammy Watkins just was body blow, body blow, body blow. And then Clyde Edwards-Hilaire was the shot to the head to knock him out. It was a classic Rocky boxing match out there. So
I don't want to overlook this either. The special teams group, we've talked about this. This special teams group showed up again tonight. When Butker wants to kick a touchback, okay, fine. Or Tobe goes, no, I want you to hang it. And then here come all those demons coming down there. There's some dudes now. That special teams unit was impressive tonight.
Well, we talked about that, how deep this team was going to be, how hard it was to get down to 53 when we had 80 alpha dogs out there all want to be a part of this roster. The one thing it was going to make this this roster really rise to the occasion was our special teams depth. The guys we got covering kicks and covering punts could be other teams starting wide receivers, linebackers, and safeties. And those guys are related to special teams players here because our starters are so good. So the good only gets gooder for only gets better for those at the top. And so, man, the grass is so green for the Chiefs right now. We just got to keep humble. We know we're at the top of the mountain. Everybody's going to come trying to knock us off, man. Stay humble, stay hardworking, show that effort every game day.
Stay humble, stay hungry, go get the next one. It was a night of emotion, though, starting with the revealing of the Super Bowl champion banner, and it never stopped as Kansas City gets this victory 34-20. For Shawn Barber, I'm Mitch Holthus. Now you get a long weekend and get ready to go to play the Chargers.